What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumbass. Like and subscribe. Hype. So. Sony, they have officially lost their way. I'm trying to think back, like where it happened. Where I think it happened. The start of it, I think, when they fired Sean Layden. As much as I kind of I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. I'm like, I'm not ambivalent either. I'm like, I look at him funny. I look at him sideways, like, because he says some stuff sometimes. I'm like, no. Then he says some other stuff. I'm like, oh hell no. They said some stuff, and it's like, yeah, no, duh. But it's usually hell no. But anyway, that's when I think it all started crumbling. Jim Ryan didn't help. He stabbed it in the ribs. He stabbed it underneath the armpit. He did all the bad stuff. Uh, he finished off PlayStation, put them in the position that they're in financially, and now the powers that be are trying to squeeze. Whether it's worth the juice or not, they don't care. They're squeezing rocks. They're squeezing trees. You get some juice out of trees, though. But rocks, I mean, lava maybe. That's hot juice. Anyway, so I say all of that to say this: Crunchyroll. So, as y'all know, if you don't, Sony owns Crunchyroll. They bought them, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that. And I think, well, right now, what's happening is that there's a tiered subscription. Um, there are three subscription tiers of Crunchyroll. One is like $10. It's like basic. I think they call it the fan, and then two other higher tiers. I can't remember what they're called. So it's $10, 15, and 18 or something like that. I don't know. So what Sony is doing is they are limiting access to their online store, which has tchotchkes, and I think they stopped selling actual DVDs. Oh, if y'all don't know, Crunchyroll is an anime streaming service that Sony owns. They bought Funimation, they slid them into Crunchyroll. Now Funimation is part of Crunchyroll. It's all in there, right? All the anime's there. They basically have a monopoly on anime streaming. So now what they did, since they're doing this, oh yeah, no DVDs or no Blu-rays, we're not gonna do games. Oh, let's do it to the movies too. So they added a tiered structure. They didn't add it, but what they did is they limited their tier structure. So if you're in the fan tier, you can't get access to the store. You can't. This is so. This is so stupid. It's like I gotta subscribe to your service, and I still don't get access. Well, yeah, you gotta pay the extra $4, and then you could get access for the privilege of buying more stuff. And I'm like, I mean, does Sony realize how bad they are making themselves look? I mean, look, I know companies, corporations, they're capitalistic by nature. They want to do anything and everything to make the most money ever in the world, right? That's their job, to make the shareholders smile at them every time they look at the numbers are going up. Yay! That's their job. Also, they have customers. They have to service their customers. I don't think Sony understands that part. Sony as a whole corporation, they have smart people, they have artistic people, they have very talented artists there. I would say the most valuable piece of Sony's kingdom is their animation studios. They have consistently put out good quality stuff. I would say every movie that they have ever put out is top notch. I just watched GOAT the other day. I think it's on Disney Plus or it's on Prime. I don't know. It's on one of those things. And I don't think it's on Disney. And it's good. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty dope. The animation style is all crazy and stuff. It's similar to Spider-Verse and I think The Last Wish, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish did a little bit of that too, but that's DreamWorks. That's a different animation studio, but still, it's kind of the trend, but it's a nice trend. I like it. It's like it's super exaggerated CG. But anyway, that's the only thing that they have really going for them, like fan facing, artistic. Like they put out a product, it's kind of nice, it's dope. It's like, yay, I like it. And then they surround their beautiful products, their artistic masterpieces, if you will, with garbage ass services and policies. And I'm like, look, I don't care how good your movies are, I don't care how good your games are. One Eye Willie with his one eye is winking at me. Pause. And look, I mean, I'm not the type to do that because it's really about convenience. The reason why people don't visit One Eyed Willie is because they don't want to be inconvenient. If it's more convenient to just buy it at a reduced price, or like, oh, that's a fair price, I'll buy it. Boom, boom, click, click, boom, done. It's way easier than going to visit One Eye Willie, and I don't actually know what his ship was called, and that's a shame. I got a Santa Maria. No, it's not. That's not it. That's Christopher Columbus. Anyway, actually, Chris Columbus did write the good. Whatever. We went through that last. We're not gonna do that again. So the fan, the $10, sub tier of Crunchyroll does not have access to the store to buy stuff. They don't have the privilege to pay. They're not paying enough in order to go to the store and pay some more stuff to buy some more stuff. And as far as I understand it, they're not selling Blu-rays, right? And so here's another thing. Before Crunchyroll was acquired by Sony, they acquired a DVD Blu-ray store. I forgot what it's called. Forgive me. And they were, I mean, they've been around for since the 80s, right? So they've been, packages selling anime and all this stuff, right? You want your anime, boom. Of course you could just go to Amazon, but still, you had your one spot, you get it all, but boom, right? They acquired that too. I don't know what's going on. I don't think that exists anymore. Whatever. I mean, they're cutting out physical media, and now they're doing this with the tiered. So imagine this. Imagine they apply the same ideology or structure, or let's just say, same business structure that they're doing with Crunchyroll to PSN, right? Now, you could say, okay, you have PS Plus, or PS Plus, I should say. PS Plus, the bottom version. What is it called? Basic or whatever? You got that. You get to stream all the games that are on the list, but you can't buy any games. You can't buy. You're not paying enough to have the privilege to buy. And of course, that whole buy thing on PlayStation. Here's another thing, real tangent, but it's connected. The word buy, the verbiage of buy, when it comes to associating it with PlayStation and PSN, doesn't exist anymore. Now, what people are saying is what they said about Game Pass, which is kind of true. It's like, oh, you're paying this sub, but you're renting. But that's known by us. We're like, yeah, we don't own it. We're just going in, we're streaming it. And I mean, we're not streaming it, we're downloading it, and we got it. As long as we want, as long as we're paying, we still can play it as long as we want, blah, blah, blah. We understand the rules. But PlayStation is changing the rules. They're changing the terms of service underneath your nose. And so what they do is, now, I don't know if they changed the language yet, but they're going to have to, because I believe Valve had to change, or somebody else had to change the language. So you're not buying a digital copy of a game on PlayStation. You are paying for the license to play said game, which can be revoked at any time by Sony for whatever reason. So you're literally, if you think you're buying digital games on play, you're not. I don't know how this happened, but Sony managed to figure out a way to make the whole of PSN, PS Plus, everything is Blockbuster Video. It's Blockbuster PlayStation. PlayStation Video. It's Blockbuster PlayStation. That's what I like. All we gotta do is sprinkle a little yellow in the PlayStation logo, honestly, you know what? If you look at the PSN, PS Plus, they have yellow in it already, so they already bit the colors of a Blockbuster. So there you go. It's already there. They had foretold it by the colors. But look, I now look at PlayStation. It's like, oh, I'm buy all the games digital, and it's like, why would you rent all those games? What you mean I'm buying them? You ain't buying nothing. Didn't you see? Didn't you see what happened with all the movies that they said they bought? They didn't buy nothing. They took them away. They took them away. What makes you think that Sony will not take away games from you that you bought? Let me reverse that. I'm not saying bought anymore when it comes to PlayStation. That you paid for. The games that you paid for, those digital games that you paid for, can be snatched out of your account at any time for any reason. You have no control, you have no say-so, you have no recourse to defend or to fight said action of said corporation, PlayStation and Sony. Y'all are asked out. I am so glad. I had a PSN account at one point because I remember I had the Swap Shop PS3. I was like, oh, let me I made a little, account. I don't remember what it was called. PSN ID, QQ, Fastest, or whatever. I don't remember what it was. And I played Uncharted 3 for like 2 seconds. I was like, okay, I black, and I turned it off. And I gave it away. And I haven't been on it for 3 years, so I'm pretty sure they kicked me. They deleted my account. I ain't have nothing on it because I ain't paying no money into that stupid ass PSN because I'm not stupid. I'm a dumbass, but I'm not stupid. There's a difference. So yeah, I usually just talk about PlayStation and stuff like that, but this is what's happening at Sony. Let's just say that is it's a bigger thing than what, like, if you look at every little single segment of Sony, we have to look at Sony as a whole now, including what PlayStation is going through, what they're doing with PlayStation, and say, okay, Crunchyroll, like, what are they doing there? Oh, so they just, all right, it's really just about the money, right? Okay, so, and then are they gonna do something like that in PSN? Are they gonna do something like PSN on Crunchyroll, meaning no more making DVDs, no more making Blu-rays? So, but the beautiful thing about that, where I still have hope, is that Sony doesn't own all the studios that make these movies. So, and they are not the sole proprietor or member of the consortium, obviously, because it's a consortium. So the Blu-ray consortium is Philips, is Magnavox. I don't even know who else. I know Philips is in it. Philips and Sony, and then a bunch of other people, right? And so there will be Blu-rays to be made unless there's another technology that dwarfs it. And there has been other disc-based technology that has higher capacity, is faster, that's just better. I think it's called holographic discs or something crazy. I was like, oh, okay, that's the next step. And it never happened because the whole optical disc fad kind of flew away with SSDs coming around and stuff. But with this chip, not shortage, but this chipflation, no, ramflation, no, it's chips. With that happening, it might be cheaper to do Blu-ray drives, and think about it. It's like, oh, okay, are we going to start playing games off of Blu-ray drives again? No. Is it like, if the game is big enough to fit on maybe a new version of a Blu-ray drive that has, I don't know, 200 gig capacity, then that would fit most games. Why not do that? You know what I mean? I look. Here's the thing, right? With all this digital going away and stuff, this whole PlayStation movement, they're like messing up everything. I was like, you know what? I wasn't doing it, but I'm gonna start buying digital again, physical again. I bought Halo physical, waiting for that to come through. I got in my Amazon cart, is chilling, is Paprika. It's an anime. I don't know if y'all know about Paprika, but if you want to know where Christopher Nolan got the idea for Inception, go watch Paprika. It's so trippy, and the animation is mwah, it's so good. That's a really good movie. And Alex said it too. Perfect Blue is a really good thriller. It's a super good animation. It's like when I go watch anime, it's usually features, and features usually have a higher budget, or they have a higher quality animation. Uh, you know, usually. And that's what I usually go for. Like I look for the animation quality. Not to say like some of the series are really good, but they do have budgets and time constraints. So sometimes they cheapen out on some stuff. So you'll just see a mouth moving in one piece with the camera, instead of like a whole bunch of frames. Anyway, like because Gurren Lagann is just dope. What are you gonna do? That's like I love the extreme stuff too. So that's dope. I think one of the best uh animes that's just like stylistically, and it has like a bunch of vehicles because it's a car anime, is Red Line. Red Line is dope. I might get that one on Blu-ray. I already have it on DVD. But I was like, man, maybe I should get that on Blu-ray. But I don't think it's. I mean, the style is like such that it's such a clean style that it probably upscales really good. I think I remember watching it. I remember watching it when I was streaming back in the day, and I think I got flagged or something. There's like a nipple in it too, so can't really show it. It's an anime nipple. It's for 2 seconds. It's a 2 second anime nipple. It's fine. Anyway, it was pink, I think. Anyway, too much information. Pause. But yeah, so I mean, look, there's ways to get anime. Like I said, you go to Amazon, buy an anime, and da, 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 da. But still, it's like Sony's getting their freaking poison tendrils into every little piece of the of different industries, and they are not healthy for consumers, for consumer rights in general. And they're exhibiting it in every single piece of their businesses. And the what was I gonna say? I had something right on the tip of the tongue of the tang. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's like I don't see how like people can like defend this type of behavior, and like why there needs to be like competition. That's what I was gonna say. Is Sony is trying to set it up by acquiring all these things. First of all, they pretty much have the monopoly, is the word I was looking for or thought about before I lost it and got it back in. Monopoly on streaming anime streaming. Sony owns everything. They got Funimation and Crunchyroll, the two biggest ones, and they bought both of them and put them together. So I don't even know if there's any other. Maybe, I mean, yeah, probably in Japan they probably have different services and stuff. But as far as I know, that's it. So I'm like, but like I said, the saving grace is that they don't have ownership of the anime studios themselves and such. I don't know how many I don't even know if Sony has an animation studio, an anime studio. Let me get. They have Sony Animation Pictures, and that's different. That's just CG and stuff. But I don't think they have an anime studio, traditional hand drawn or computer or hand drawn, whatever. But the point is like they're doing that. They did that with Crunchyroll and Funimation, right? So now it looks like what they're trying to do is do the same thing with like PlayStation, where they're cutting off all these avenues where people can make money, ancillary money, secondary money off of the back of their business. And instead of finding a way to continue like the physical stream of revenue, they cut it off. And when you look at the numbers, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. You should cut it off. But once again, like I said last video, it's about the feeling and emotions, and a lot of what people don't realize or don't recognize is that like us Gen Xers and even Gen Zers, we are collectors, and part of nostalgia is remember, oh, I had that toy when I was a kid. Oh snap, there it is again. I got money, zig zig zig. Let me get that real quick. Put that on my bookshelf in the back in my office. You know what I'm saying? Just to have that, like when you look at it every day, like boom, I remember that. You know what I'm saying? And a little tingle tangle go through your body. And you're like, yes, that's what's up. Nostalgia. But Sony is taking away that potential future nostalgia from a whole generation, many generations of players. There will be no physical. Well, you know, I just hope Microsoft doesn't follow exactly what they're doing. I mean, and they're not. They're doing something. They're doing a little bit something that's a little bit different. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit more consumer facing as far as with the digital, physical to digital program that they're trying to hook up. And I'm like, all right, that's a good step. Now, like I said, give us a little, give us the physical discs, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. Look, if Sony had control of all these things and they were the ones, then it would have been done a long time ago. You know, saving that money or making that money, whatever. But they're not the only ones that are part of the consortium. So Philips has a say. All these other people have a say, and it's like, well, you know, we what else is Philips making? Are they what are they doing? You know, are they making films or for like plastic coatings? I have no idea. I got to look it up. I have no idea what else Philips make. I mean, I guess they made like the actual Blu-rays and CDs and DVD lasers and stuff. They made the hardware, but I don't know what else that they are doing. Maybe they're making micro discs for PlayStation, for Sony, for the freaking AI farms. I don't look, man. It's just crazy, like how I've been saying it for years now. The PlayStation is going down, 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 and y'all are seeing it now. Y'all see what I said, and it's not about like, oh, I told y'all, I was right. I was like, I don't care about being right. I saw it. I was like, yeah, that's. Mm-mm. Also, Sony doesn't care about you. Yeah. I mean, I know that already. They're just good at hiding it. They're good at not saying anything. That's their thing. And funny thing is, I was watching Sacred Symbols. I know. And one thing I'll say that's good about Sacred Symbols, he has chapters, so I could just fast forward all the freaking hour of shite from the beginning. Like, oh, how's your day? It was, oh man, I was doing this, and I mean that's fine if you want to be, personable and stuff. But I'm like, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get to Sony with the discs. Let's get to and then they talk about Xbox or whatever. And what are they saying about Xbox? I can't remember what they were saying. Something negative, obviously. One thing he said is he's not. Colin said he's not going to buy the Doom, the Dark Ages DLC because they cut the team at id. And I was like, all right. I mean, sure. The two are not necessarily related. Once again, that team made Dune 2016. The same team that exists now after the cuts made 2016. Now, is it everybody that was there? No. And they're like, oh, institutional knowledge and blah, blah, blah. I was like, listen, here's the thing about that. Now, there is something to be said about someone who knows stuff and who can do stuff. Is that person efficient? Is that person skilled as much as this new guy that we just hired? Because I swear there are some have you ever seen I forgot his name, but they do speed production. Like they do like making beats, speed running beats. And it was less than a minute. It was 20 seconds or something. I'm like, how? What? I'm sitting there and he's like, and he's not playing on a key. He's clicking and dragging, putting the notes manually, and I'm like, wow. And it's ridiculous. And I'm like, efficiency wise, yeah, he's faster than me. Does it sound cool? Probably. He probably does the same beat 20 times a day, so he knows how to do it by heart. So I mean, he could do something like that. But still, that's fast. That's efficient. New kid, young kid, Gen Alpha, Gen Omega. I don't even know what the newest gen is. Whatever the newest gen is, that's this young kid busting it out real quick, mad efficient. That's Asha. Asha's like, yo, are you good at your job? Yeah. Are you quick though? Yeah. All right, get back to work. Then you got Jeffrey over here is like, are you good at your job? Yes, I've been here for 42 years. Are you quick? What do you mean by quick? All right, get your act. You can't even answer the question quickly. Get out of here. I'm just saying, look, I once again, I'm just making jokes and stuff, but I don't know what her criteria was for letting who, this, that, and the third go. Maybe she was meticulous and went through and looked at the productivity. Literally, that's her job, productivity and the workforce and all that stuff. So, we're sitting here thinking, oh, she's only been there 100 days. What do you think? Maybe she was there 100 days, 10 hours a day, looking through the files, looking through all the people, saying, okay, what they do, pile, what they do, pile, what they do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That would be interesting to know that. It's interesting in a business sense. It's once again, it's disappointing that people have to get fired and stuff, but at the same time, if you get I would say maybe there is some of the firings are unjustified. I can't even say that without having the knowledge of what the positions were, how many of the 3,200 that are going to be let go at the end of the day are middle management that didn't need to be there. Regardless, I've been here for 50 years. It's like, yeah, but what do you do? Well, the art guy talks to his boss, and then his boss talks to me, and then I talk to my boss. So you don't do nothing. You just relay. You just a mail. You the mail dude in the mail room with the cart, and you just put the message in and you send it over to you. Is that what you do? I mean, yeah, I communicate with words and stuff, but I mean, so yeah, get your ass, get on out. That's what you go. I'm just saying. And these fools are making way more than I am and you. So look, dude, I know people in my line of work, which I will not say because I don't want to get in trouble. Because we had a meeting the other we had a meeting the other week, and somebody got in trouble for posting on TikTok. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that while you're on the clock, if you will. And yeah, they got in trouble. They still working, because they just got a mean talking to. I think they just got a verbal whatever warning. But but there are people who are like, okay, yeah, y'all are holding up the line, if you will. Like if I got to work when I'm supposed to get to work, and everything that needed to be done was done when I got there, and I ain't got to wait for this, and I ain't got to wait for that, and I ain't got to wait for this, efficiency all day. You know what I mean? I'd be like, pew, pew, in and out. But that's not the case. Some people are lazy. Some people are slow. Some people are like, they on cruise control because they ain't killing themselves. I don't get paid enough, you know what I'm saying? Now you translate that, all the things I just said. I'm not in the video game industry, by the way. I am, but not what I'm talking about. You translate that to a studio where you got an artist. You got this artist. She's like, yo, check out these arts that I did. He's like, yo, that's hot, son. Problem with that is AI. Asha's like, yeah, man, why don't you just throw that in the model and then just come up with like 100 different concepts. Concept artists, see the door. I'm just saying, maybe a lot of them were not really good concept artists. I'm just saying, maybe they have one or two left, right? And they need, concept. They need their own artists, obviously. But what they can do, which is smart, they take their concept artists, right? And they say, all right, y'all got to do a bunch of, do 10 concepts each, right? Then we're going to feed that to the model. Then the model's going to iterate and give you 1,000. That's efficient because then the model takes that art and it takes the style, it takes the flavor, it takes the vibe, and it creates more work, more material for the studio to look at and say, yo, I like that, I like those colors, I like da 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 da. but it's still based off of the original artists that worked there, their art. And that's, I think, the responsible way to use AI. And as far as I understand it, that's how she is. That's how I would do it. That's how I plan to use AI. I would have to draw more though. Anyway, but like I said, you got lazy people, you got people who slow up the process, you got, oh, you messed up, you got to go do it again, and now you're holding up a whole department over this side because they're waiting for you to finish what you got to finish so they can do what they need to do. Iterations. And it has to do, with the engine. Is the engine efficient? Is the pipeline, the workflow with this engine conducive to how your structure, the hierarchy and the structure of your studio? Are they meshing well? And how's that work out? So it's a lot of different moving parts when it comes to that stuff. But look, that's, they get paid the big bucks, and Asha is there to grease the wheels and take out, do that weight reduction so that you could be more efficient and get across the finish line faster. That's all. What's up? Little racing talk for you. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging out and listening to my like and subscribe. Hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Sony, Crunchyroll. They're poisoning the well across all the entertainment. Now they trying to ruin anime. Come on, son. This is crazy. This is so crazy. But I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the wait.